Welcome back, everybody. This week in America, Jill Skeem back with us on the program, a certified macrobiotic health counselor, educator, and chef. She graduated from the Strengthening Health Institute, a premier macrobiotic educational facility in Philadelphia, The Ohio State University. She has an award-winning cookbook that we've talked about a number of times in the program, and we'll do again on the show today. Comfort Food gets a vegan makeover. Jill, welcome back to the program. Great to have you with us.
Rick, it's always so much fun. Thank you for having me.
We always get great information, and congratulations on now an award-winning cookbook. Let's talk about macrobiotic. We haven't done that in a while. I keep throwing that out there in talking about you being a certified macrobiotic health counselor. Talk about macrobiotics.
Right. Well, a lot of people might have heard about macrobiotics. They sometimes label it as the cancer diet, but actually it's just a grain and vegetable-based diet. And we use really cooking methods to give your food more energy. You definitely eat in line with the seasons. We eat a lot of seaweed for good minerals. And, it's a great way to eat. It gives you a format on how to eat. So even if you're a vegetarian, I've run into a lot of people that are vegetarians, they eat everything except vegetables. Macrobiotics gives you really a format where you have a grain at every meal, and you have a bean or bean product once a day, and a vegetable at every meal, and soups and seaweed. And I just love it. I took a $10 class on Intro to Asian Diagnosis, and literally the class changed my life, and I became macrobiotic, and I have been since 2001, and it's been great.
Yeah, when you read about it, the results are amazing. The book we're talking about with Jill Skeem is Comfort Food Gets a Vegan Makeover. More than 60 easy-to-make comfort food recipes with a simple vegan twist. And we've talked about this before. So many people, millions of people, would love to eat healthier. They just don't know how. And this is like step number one in the process. And we've talked before, and I want to go back and go over some of this, some of the little tips that people can use to eat better. And one thing you recommend is eating your meals at the same time every day. Talk about the importance of that, because for many people, it's like whenever I can eat, I will eat. There's no routine.
I know. I think we've kind of lost that in our society. I mean, it used to be in the day where you had, breakfast, and a lot of older people, your grandparents might be like that. They have to have breakfast by 8 and lunch by noon and dinner by 5. And if they don't, things will happen. And that's really how we should eat. We put our babies on schedules, and then somehow as we get older, we forget that we have a schedule. But it keeps you in line with really the day. Like you should eat breakfast no later than 8, and lunch no later than 1, and dinner no later than 7, and really have 3 meals a day at close to as regular time as possible. I mean, we make appointments for so many things. You should make appointments for your meals and really sit down and eat your meals, and then you will be satisfied and not eat so much. We now have a nation of snackers. People snack all day long, and they never really have a satisfying meal, and you tend to eat more and more bad foods that way. But when you actually take time, sit down, eat your meals, you'll feel satisfied, go on with your day. And if you need a snack at like 10 in the morning or maybe 2 in the afternoon, fine. A lot of people are hypoglycemic. But really, try to have 3 regular meals a day, and then you'll actually be hungry for mealtime. I know there's a big push right now for, I'm never hungry. Well, you know what? It's nice to be hungry for your meals. I look forward to lunch. I look forward to dinner. And nothing's better than sitting down, being hungry, and eating a great meal. And you're satisfied, as opposed to always snacking, going back to the cupboard, eating before you go to bed. One of the worst habits you could ever do is eat before you go to bed.
The book is Comfort Food Gets a Vegan Makeover. If you're saying, yes, that sounds good, but I don't know what to fix. If you're sort of in a rut and you've got all these great family recipes, but you're thinking these are a little bit too heavy and probably not really healthy for the family, Comfort Food Gets a Vegan Makeover. You're making healthy substitutions. One thing that's so important, people say, okay, that all makes sense, but I'm busy and I eat out a lot. And you say the one key to eating out successfully is assembling your meal one piece at a time. Talk about how you go about doing that so we don't get totally slammed when we eat out.
I know. And people do eat out more probably than they even cook or eat in.
Yeah.
And, we live in Idaho, and it's hard. You can't go to a restaurant and get short grain organic brown rice, but what I do is I go to a restaurant and I think, well, what's my grain? And it could be a pasta, it could be a white rice, whatever. I always look for a grain, then I look for a vegetable. If they have a vegetable soup or if they have a bean dish, say you're at a Mexican restaurant and they have beans that aren't made with lard, you can eat very easily that way. But you just need a format with how you eat. And that will help you. I mean, if you're going to have a steak or a chicken or fish, have it more of a side dish size. Because when we eat huge amounts of animal protein, it makes us actually crave refined carbohydrates. So a lot of times when people go out for a big steak, you have a potato with it because it's really kind of like yin and yang. The potato's yin, the steak is yang. But if you don't have the potato, you'll crave like a piece of chocolate cake. A lot of times people, if they have a very salty or animal-based meal, they'll start to crave sweets. So it's a way to keep your cravings in balance too. So if you balance it with a salad and more vegetables, add vegetables to your sandwich, it will be helpful.
The book is broken down in categories. You've got breakfast, appetizers, soup, sandwiches, main courses, side dishes, salads, and desserts. And I'm sure the response you're getting has been excellent to this because the book is very colorful. You can just open it up to the page you want. It's very simple to follow. But I think when people realize, boy, that flavor's still there and I don't feel guilty when the meal is over, it has to be rewarding for you that people are saying, I was skeptical at first, but I really like that.
Oh, I know. My husband, he went to a bike shop the other day and the guy recognized my husband's last name and asked if he was related to me. And he said he had my cookbook and that he was just shocked that he made my vegan lasagna and couldn't believe how great it tasted. He actually thought there was cheese in it. But what I do is I blend tofu with Kalamata olives and sun-dried tomatoes and basil and add a little olive oil and salt and pepper. And it really looks and tastes like ricotta. So, if you could have your lasagna in a healthy way, why not, and not have the saturated fat and cholesterol because the number one killer of Americans is heart disease. So why not, you can still have your favorites, the same taste, the same texture, but just made in a healthy way. It's a no-brainer to me. It's like, why not?
Well, and it makes so much sense. The results are great. The book is an award-winning book. Comfort Food Gets a Vegan Makeover. It's colorful. It's easy to read. Jill Skeem is the author. She's our guest on the program. The website is Jill Skeem. That's SKEEM.com. And you can log on directly to Jill's website by going to ours, thisweekinamerica.us. Jill, as always, first of all, the time goes by quickly. Second of all, you've given us some great information. We will have you back and do it again. Thank you for being with us on the program.
Rick, thank you so much. And healthy eating.
Yes, out of the book, Comfort Food Gets a Vegan Makeover. And you can get all the information at our website, thisweekinamerica.us.